So we were discussing the variable length arguments in the last session. That was the last topic that we have discussed. So let me revise the topic and we will carry forward the session today. So whenever you wanted to have a function which can take multiple arguments which were not mentioned at the time of function definition. Function definition లో మనం రెండో మూడో రాస్తే ఆ రెండు మూడు మాత్రమే ఇవ్వగలుగుతాం. The number has to be equal at function calling and function definition also. But you want to which can accept n number of arguments. Some required arguments will be there. Apart from the required arguments, you wanted to specify that your function should be accepting any number of arguments after that. So if you have such condition, for example, we have discussed printf and scanf also. When you want to define such kind of functions, we have a variable. We can define a function which can accept variable length arguments. What is the syntax for that? This is a syntax for that. We obviously have to use the def keyword. We will use it. Function name we have to specify. We will specify. And formal arguments. Whether your function is having any formal arguments, you wanted to specify that formal arguments. Yes, we can specify that formal arguments. After that, you have to specify the variable length argument. So variable length in the sense it can vary. The argument length may vary. That is the meaning. How many number of any number of arguments you can specify, and all those things will be gathered together in form of a sequence named tuple. So tuple ane oka sequence loki vachi chetayi avanni kuda. Whatever you give, formal arguments tarvata you wanted to enter 5 arguments, 10 arguments or 15 arguments, all those arguments will be falling into that particular sequence tuple. All that variables will all the values will go into that particular tuple. So and this is that we will write a function docstring we will write a function suit, and we will write a return statement also. We will come to that return statement now in the next part. So an asterisk is placed before the variable name that holds the values of all the non-keyword variable arguments. So you know what is a keyword? You specified B, E, F. Those are formal arguments, right? The formal arguments, apart from the arguments, whatever you wanted to specify, all the other arguments will be falling into one picture. For that variable, we will be putting star. So we have seen some example also for that in the last class. So let me recall that same concept again here. I hope my Colab file is also visible to everybody. In this particular example, print info, I am taking arg1. So this arg1 is a formal argument, or we can call it as a keyword argument or required argument. Whatever you can call the same thing. So it depends upon how you are using that particular variable for your program. So this holds the variable length argument. So var tuple. So var tuple. So you can put whatever you want. Not only the var tuple. You can write my name Pawan. Now Pawan becomes a variable, a tuple variable. Here Pawan is a variable which can hold any number of arguments and stores the values passed in form of sequence tuple, in form of a tuple sequence. What is the tuple? What it does? We will see in the later classes. So just remember that it creates a tuple sequence, and we can use the tuple sequence in whichever way we want. So I've tried to print out the formal argument. So after that formal argument, I wanted to print this variable length argument. So what are the values that occur that are received at the time of function call? I wanted to print all those things. So when we learned for loop, we have learned the syntax of the for loop in such a way that for loop iteration variable in sequence. So sequence. So remember, you have to remember the term sequence. So here tuple is also a sequence. I'm placing the tuple here. So which means this for loop will be iterating for each and every element in the sequence. So here, what are the elements of the tuple sequence here? The extra variables, extra elements that you are passing at the time of function calling. All the arguments are stored in a sequence mentioned Pawan. So I'm changing it to the Pavan now. So now for every element in Pavan, I wanted to print and I wanted to simply return that. So now I'm calling this, I'm defining this particular function. I have defined it, and now I'm trying to call that particular function. You can give 100 things, you can give n number of things. So there is no doubt about that. So here I have given, apart from the formal argument, only one formal argument must be there. Apart from that, I have given many arguments such that. So it is not mandatory that you have to give only integers or floats. You can give anything. You can give anything. So I have given all these things. Now all these things, all the remaining things, apart from the first thing, all these things will be formed into a sequence tuple. All these elements will be in tuple sequence. Tuple sequence. So that's what we are calling both the functions now. If you see the result, all the things, everything will be there in the sequence, tuple sequence. So that is the important thing that you need to understand here. So these are the things that we have discussed in the last class. Now we will move on to the next concept that we are going to discuss at this point. So we have seen this example, variable length arguments, and here comes the most important thing which we don't have in any other programming language, called anonymous functions or inline functions. So this anonymous function is there in Python. Anonymous function or inline functions, which is nothing but we don't create a function. Literally, we will not create a function, but without a name, we can call that particular function. So it is a function not declared in the standard manner using def keyword. Without using the def keyword also, we can create the anonymous, we can create the function, but there will be no name to it. So we can use lambda keyword. So the keyword is lambda. You have to use the keyword called lambda to create small anonymous functions. So chinna anonymous, peru leni functions. You wanted to have some small task like print info. You wanted to print some info thing. So that you don't want to, whatever it comes, it just has to be printed. Print అనేది కాకుండా ప్రింట్ ఇన్ఫో అనేది ఒక ఫంక్షన్ నేను క్రియేట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను. సో సింపుల్ గా అదేం చేస్తుంది, దెర్ ఇస్ నో ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఇన్ దట్. వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ టేక్స్ ది ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్, ఇట్ ఈస్ జస్ట్ ప్రింటింగ్ ఇట్, రైట్? సో ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు క్రియేట్ ఇట్ యూజింగ్ ద lambda function. We are able to create it with the help of lambda function. So how do you do that? So we do it with the help of the lambda keyword. Lambda forms can take any number of arguments, but just return only one value in form of an expression. It can take 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 arguments, no doubt about that, but it can return only one value, and that also an expression value. So expression in the sense it will return a value. So expression ante enti, expression evaluate avutadi kada, expression evaluate oka value veltundi. So that is lambda. They cannot contain commands or multiple expressions. So it cannot take multiple expressions. So multiple expressions evaluate cheyadaniki lambda anta suggestible kaadu. We can do that. AND operator use cheskoni, logical AND operator use cheskoni, we can have multiple expressions, but it is not advisable to do that all the time. So see this anonymous function lambda. Lambda functions contain only single statement. So how to define this particular thing? So we will use the lambda function. Whatever the arguments that you wanted to specify, you wanted to specify the arguments here, we can specify all these arguments and an expression. Which expression you have to work it out based on this arguments. ఈ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ నువ్వు ఏదైతే రాసావో ఆ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని you wanted to perform an expression. So what is that expression? You will write by separating it with the help of colon. By separating it with the help of colon. So this is how you write a simple sum program using a lambda. So we have written the definition for sum in the earlier snippets. So now we are trying to calculate the lambda function with to calculate the sum of two variables. Now we'll see how this lambda functions works out practically. So now I'm not doing it for addition or subtraction. I'll do it with for multiplication, because we have done the regular things with addition and subtraction. Now we will do it with the multiplicative operator. So I am writing a function multiplication is equals to, so this is the variable which is nothing but, so when we are discussing, when I am saying it earlier, lambda function will return one expression, right? Lambda function will return one expression. That expression is nothing but a value. That value will be coming and get stored in this particular variable multiplication. That is the difference here. So usually మనం ఇంతకుముందు ఫంక్షన్ డిఫైన్ చేసేటప్పుడు రిటర్న్ చేయడం చేయకపోవడం అనేది ఫంక్షన్ డెఫినేషన్ లో మనం రాసుకునే దాన్ని బట్టి ఉంటుంది. బట్ హియర్ lambda function will definitely return an expression is nothing but a value. ఆ వాల్యూ ఎక్కడ స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలి? ఒక వేరియబుల్ లో స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఆ వేరియబుల్ నేమే మల్టిప్లికేషన్. హియర్ multiplication is equals to, so you need to create a function with the help of anonymous function with the help of lambda, lambda. Lambda, yes, you have given the function name lambda, and you have to specify the arguments name arg1 comma arg2. So I am here, this anonymous function that we are creating accepts two arguments, that is arg1 and arg2. Is okay. Now what you want to perform with these two arguments, that we have to specify after colon. Yes, what you want to specify? arg1 plus arg2, arg1 plus arg2, that you want to specify here, right? So here we are creating an anonymous function by using keyword lambda, by using the keyword lambda, where this function, this anonymous function will take two arguments and it will return one expression for sure. It has to return one expression for sure, and that expression is arg1 plus arg2, and this value has to be stored in a variable. That variable is multiplication. We can call these kind of anonymous function with the variable name. So this is the actual meaning of the entire statement that we have written here. So now, so it is not multiplication, right? So I am trying to use the star operator. So now I am trying to run this particular snippet. So I have run this particular snippet. Now my function definition was done. So function definition మనం def keyword యూజ్ చేసి ఎలా చేసామో అట్లాగా anonymous function ని ఇప్పుడు క్రియేట్ చేసాం మనం. So now this anonymous function have to be called. మరి దీనికి పేరు లేదు కదా సార్, ఎలా పిలుస్తాం సార్? As specified here, we can call this particular function with the variable name what we have used. So print multiplication of 4, 5. So now we can call this particular anonymous function like this, where this anonymous function we are passing two arguments 4, 5. Yes, we are passing two arguments only. These arguments will be considered here by arg1 and arg2, and they will be, and this anonymous function will return an expression. What is that expression? arg1 into arg2, that is 4 into 5. 20 will be the value. The 20 value will be there in which variable? This variable. So that is the meaning of this entire thing. So now I'm running this particular snippet. You can see the result, we got 20. So the multiplicative value of is So I wanted to give these values. So a comma b is equals to 4 comma 5. So I wanted to have a comma b comma here also a comma b. I'll run it again. So that's the meaning of it. And now I wanted to replicate it with the help of 10 and 10. 10 comma 10. So this is how we can work out with the anonymous functions. This is how we create an anonymous function with the help of lambda. So which it takes arguments, any number of arguments. It can take any number of arguments we can give. Yes, we have given some arguments. Based on these arguments, it has to return some expression. What is that expression? We will write that expression with the separation of a column. So how it is getting worked, how we have to call these kind of function with the variable name, what we are storing that particular return value of that lambda function. Lambda function నుంచి ఏదైతే వాల్యూని మనం రిటర్న్ వచ్చిన వాల్యూని స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటున్నామో ఆ వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ తో ఆ లాంబ్డా ఫంక్షన్ ని కాల్ చేస్తాం. సార్ అసలు దీనివల్ల అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటి సార్? మనకి ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేయాలి ఈ లాంబ్డా ఫంక్షన్, ఎందుకు అనానిమస్ ఫంక్షన్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం? సో we can save the storage required for the program. So that is, so function takes function name will be stored in the memory. So ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మెమరీలో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది అవన్నీ మీకు తెలుసు. సో ఆ మెమరీ స్పేస్ ని తగ్గించుకుంటాము. అండ్ ప్లస్ so it has to the traversing have to jump from one place to the other place. So one memory location to the other place. All the time and space complexity. చిన్న ఫంక్షనే కదా, చిన్న ఫంక్షనాలిటీయే కదా, ఇక్కడ ఒక స్టేట్మెంటే కదా జరుగుతుంది, ఒక ఎక్స్ప్రెషనే కదా రిటర్న్ జరుగుతుంది. దానికోసం ఎందుకు అంత పెద్ద ఫంక్షన్ రాయడం, అంత పెద్ద డెఫినేషన్ రాయడము? సో ఫర్ దట్ small purposes we will be using anonymous functions. So anybody has any doubt in writing anonymous functions here? Everybody understood how this is happening?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Am I audible? First point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will switch to the next part now. So you have some other points which also we can discuss. Anonymous functions cannot be a direct call to print because lambda requires an expression. So we cannot just write print in the help of lambda functions. We cannot just write, it has to be an expression. We can print something with the help of lambda functions. So lambda functions have their own local space and cannot access variables other than those in parameter list, and those are global namespace. సో మీరు ఏదైతే ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ పాస్ చేస్తున్నారో ఆ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ని మాత్రమే ఆ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ లో వాడుకోవాలి, వేరే ఏ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ని కూడా మనం యూజ్ చేసుకోలేము. దట్స్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. It appears that lambda function is one line version of a function. So single line function anna, inline function anna, anonymous function anna, all three are same. Anonymous, single line function, inline functions. All these three refer to the lambda functions alone. So this is how we try to do that. We've seen with an example as well. So simple definition, lambda function definition for addition operation. So that's the lambda function. And now we are going to discuss the return statement. In any program language, when you create a function, we can return one statement, right? Excuse me. In any programming language that we have, in C programming language that we have discussed earlier, we will write return statement, right? So return also we can do two things. We can return a value or we can return a reference also. We can send the address variable also, right? In the same way, in Python also, we can, we don't have the reference pass by a value thing. We have only pass by reference thing. So leave that part aside, and we can return only one thing at a time. In any other programming language, in any other programming language, you can return only one instance at a time. means we cannot return multiple values in one return statement. See, we'll see some examples. Okay, we'll see some examples. Let us take the same example that we have taken the addition. So it is returning an integer. So int add. So it is taking int a comma int b, and so we are trying to do some function suit. So we'll write return statement, right? Return. So you can write either a or return b or return a plus b. A plus b. So you can write any one of it, but you cannot write all three. ఎందుకంటే first return వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. You can write like this, but you cannot return like this a comma b. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. It throws an error. It gives an error. It gives an error in any other programming language other than Python. Only Python can return multiple values at a time. So let us take the same example that we are discussing here. So there is no need to specify the return type, whether it is returning or not, we no need to specify, but we have to use the keyword called f add. So two formal arguments a comma b, that was done. So I have to specify and I have to make it in a new block with the help of colon. I have done it, which I have done. Now I need to use something, right? So print the addition of the two arguments is, I'm writing the help of format function. So I have to specify a plus b. The addition value will be there. Now I wanted to return, so I want to return 10 added to both the values. 10 added to both the values. This is what I want to return. So I will return a plus 10 comma b plus 10 or 20, whatever it is, 10 and 20 to both the values respectively, a plus 10 b plus 20. So I am returning two values here. If you see, if you observe very clearly, I am returning two values. Usually when you are defining a function, so if your function is returning something, you will write like this, right? A is equals to add of 4 comma 5. This is how you will write. But you know that you have written a function, you have defined a function which is returning two things. So you have to give two things, c comma d. C comma d. So now you wanted to print this. Okay, we can print c comma d. So this is how we can return multiple values from the defined function, and we can handle the two values that are returned, multiple values returned at the same time from the return statement. So the addition of two arguments is 9, and you are adding 10 and 20 for both the things. So when you add, so these are the things. So if you have to understand that. So this is not the called function. We are doing it in the calling function. We have printed the values in the calling function. That is the difference between a single return statement and multiple return statement. So now we will try to write the return statement with a single thing, single return value. So define what are the divisor, dividing. So we haven't used divide, right? Divide c comma f, e comma f, and print the division value. Division value is, so I wanted to print e by f. Okay, I wanted to print e by f. and I'm returning E by F, return E by F. So EF G is equals to divide of 10 comma 5, and you can print the G. The value returned, the single value returned is, so here you can write the multiple values returned are multiple values returned are multiple values returned are the single value returned. So this is the classic difference between of return statement in Python with the other programming languages. Only you can have only one value that is returned in other programming language, whereas Python we can return multiple things. We can return multiple variables, multiple number of variables. So that is the difference of return in Python. So a return statement with no arguments is simple as return none. That you people know it, right? So even when you are writing int something, even if you don't return something, it will just throw a warning. It will not throw an error. So it will be stating that it is returning some value. So the same thing will be happening here. So this is what we have seen at this point. So you can return one value or you can return multiple things also. And the next concept is scope of variables. So what is the scope of variables in Python? Can anybody tell me the scope of variables in C? Can anybody recollect the concepts of scope of variable in C? Guys? Scope of variables in C programming language. How many types of variables we have in C?
Local variables, global variables.
Yeah, good, Nikita. So we have local variables and global variables in C programming language. In the same fashion, we have something in Python as well. Scope of variables. So same thing, global variables and local variables. All variables in the program may not be accessed at all locations in that program. That depends on where you have declared that particular variable. That is the scope, right? మనం ఎక్కడ డిక్లేర్ చేస్తామో అక్కడ మాత్రమే ఆ వేరియబుల్స్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకోగలుగుతాం. The scope of variables determines the portion of the program where you can access that particular identifier. Identifier is nothing but the variable. There are two types of scopes in Python, global and local. So if you see this particular slide, you can see the difference between both the things. So we have a stack. So global stack where the data will be stored. So in this particular foo function, I am printing that particular thing. So I have declared a as 10. So the 10 will be there as a global variable. It will be stored in the stack as a underscore global. The variable will be stored. The value of a will be stored like this inside the stack. So a, it's a global variable because it is not defined in the function. It is defined outside the function. So regular snippet, it's in the regular snippet. So a is equals to 10. So that will be stored like a underscore global. And you have another function, the same function, foo function, a is equals to 20. A is equals to 20. So there you have, so it has to be, local has to be capital A. So this must be capital A. Okay, this must be capital A. The highlighted one is capital A. Consider the highlighted one as a capital A. Okay, so that has to carry the value 20, which is local to foo function, local to this particular function foo. So that's where the local and global variables will get defined. That's the scope of the variable. So global versus local variables. A simple thing, variables that are defined outside the function body have a inside the function body will be having a local scope, and local variables can be accessed only inside the function in which they are declared. So yesterday also we have seen this example. So we have tried to print e and f outside the function, we didn't got it. So that's the scope of the variable. The variables e and f belong to only to that particular function. We can access only inside that particular function. Those defined outside the function, they will have the global scope. Global variable throughout the program body by all the functions. So that a underscore global can be accessed by all the functions which were defined in that particular session of the Python environment. So we can call a function, the variable declared inside it brought into the scope. So you can just use any number of global variables inside the particular any function. So the normal things like simple things, all that summarizes the concepts that we have discussed till this point was mentioned in that particular slide. And this is the task for you guys. You need to do this task and keep it. Whenever you are asked, you have to upload in the LMS. So very soon we'll be giving you the Moodle portal. So where the tasks will be given to you there. So there you have to upload the tasks what you have done till that particular point.